Hey everyone, how's it going here? Calamity here, bringing you another episode of the Anything Goes podcast. This episode, we have a lot to go over today. Yesterday it was Disney's Investor Day where they kind of made their pitches on all the new things that they have coming out, and that includes Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Walt Disney Television, Pixar, National Geographic, ESPN Plus, everything that they own. Um, and they released a lot of stuff. So we got that to go over. We got some NFL matchups to go over from last week and one from this week to go over. And we got some NBA news, but the majority of the time is going to be on actually movies. So yeah, we're going to get right into it. So first thing I have here, this was before Disney's Investor Day. This came out, so I mentioned it last time about Alfred Molina being Dr. Octopus again for the Spider-Man 3. That was a rumor at that point last week. It actually is confirmed now. He is returning to play Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 3. Also in Spider-Man 3, another character is coming to that movie that everyone should know. He had his own series on Netflix for Marvel. It's actually Daredevil, and the guy who played him, Charlie Cox, is returning to play him as well in Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Kirsten Dunst are all rumored to make a return as well. Those are just rumors, though; those haven't been confirmed. So again, people don't know if they're just going to be cameos for these people or if they're going to actually have like a main part. I think so far the rumor is that they're going to be cameos. I don't know in what sense. Maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man is flying through different universes. I know they kind of messed around a little, like not with different universes, but they messed around a little bit with Spider-Man and Far From Home with Mysterio. But they could do something like that where he's just he's going through the different universes and he's seeing, Tobey Maguire face off against, his villains and stuff like that. Because we have confirmed a villain from the Amazing Spider-Man series, the original Spider-Man series, and we have one from Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So there's also a rumor going around too that William Dafoe is actually rumored to come back too as the Green Goblin. So as of right now, anything can happen. And in terms of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is his second movie, Rachel McAdams is expected to return as Christine Palmer, which that doesn't really surprise anyone. She was a pretty main character in Doctor Strange. So that was just news before the Investor Day. Now, going into Disney's Investor Day, we have, so they did it in sections, like I said, with Pixar, Marvel, all that stuff. Marvel came at the end, of course, but 2 hours before Marvel was going to be on stage to announce their new content, a Twitter account named Secret Invasion was made. This was reported by Culture Crave on Twitter, which, if you guys don't follow them and you guys love Marvel or just anything with films, they are the place to follow. They literally are the ones that are breaking all this news to everyone. They followed Disney Investor Day as it happened, so they made tweets on everything that they were saying. They even had their trailers that they posted for their new content, and Culture Crave is definitely the place to follow. That is where I get all of my information from them, just because, once they've confirmed it, that pretty much means it's confirmed. Later in Marvel's presentation, it was actually revealed that they will be developing a movie it's not a movie, it's a series called Secret Invasion. It will be starring Nick Fury, which is Samuel L. Jackson. He will be returning as Nick Fury. He has to fight an invasion of Skrulls impersonating humans. The way I'm reading that, I'm kind of taking it as Nick Fury won't be actually fighting them, but he'll be it'll be like a cop drama, I think, is how I'm kind of taking it, where Nick Fury is just going to be taking, like, arresting the Skrulls, I guess. So it sounds interesting, though. Secret Invasion, I mean, I have, actually, right here. Look at this. Right up here. I have Secret Invasion right here. So, obviously it's going to be different than in the comics, but I think it's going to be a pretty good series. So that was announced. And then we have, sorry, I have a lot of notes on my phone right here. So if you catch me looking down, it's going to be because I'm trying to go over all this stuff. So let's see. Marvel did give us some trailers, some new trailers actually for Loki, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, What If, and Miss Marvel. All those new shows will be coming soon, and they all looked very good. I mean, Miss Marvel, they didn't really have. It wasn't like an actual trailer of filming of the show. They just kind of had their character or their actress who's playing Miss Marvel. They kind of had her in costume a few times, and then other than that, it was more of like the comic book version of her and people discussing Miss Marvel, which it looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but What If looked amazing. All these shows looked really good. Then I can't wait. The two favorite ones I'm going to be looking forward to the most are Loki and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those are the two that looked the best in my opinion. And if you guys, again, if you want to check out those trailers, Culture Crave on Twitter has all those. I will be posting them in the description to their Twitter, so you guys can see all those. Let's see what else we got here. So Marvel also confirmed some information. For instance, they confirmed that Christian Bale will be playing Gore the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder. We all knew he was playing a villain. We weren't sure what villain, but we got that. And then they also announced that Black Panther will not be recast. So Chadwick Boseman is Black Panther. That won't be given to anyone else ever, as long as Marvel owns it. So that's good news. I mean, I don't think anyone really expected them to recast him anyways. And then we have Cassie Lang, who is the daughter of Ant-Man, was actually recast. Catherine Newton will now play her in the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Fantastic Four will become a movie in the MCU again. Spider-Man 3 is coming out too in December, I believe, of next year. And then we have Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, all. So Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, and WandaVision are all directly related to each other. So I think how it's going to work out is WandaVision, since that one's coming out first, which is January 15th. So be sure to watch that. WandaVision comes out first, and the way I'm kind of reading that off of all the trailers I've seen and everything that's been given to us for WandaVision, I'm taking it as Wanda is creating all these new, I don't know if it's universes or realities where Vision is still alive, and she's creating all these realities like with him alive, but how she's doing this, I don't know. She's also one of the most powerful people in the Avengers or in Marvel, so that'll be interesting. But I think because she does that, it leads to, I think Doctor Strange 2 is the next one that comes out in terms of those three, and Doctor Strange will also be featuring Wanda in that movie. So I think because she does that, it leads to the effects in Doctor Strange 2, and then because of that, that leads to Spider-Man 3 being the way it is with different Spider-Men, and their villains. So it'll be interesting to see how those are all linked. And we also confirmed a new villain for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is their new movie. I don't think they released an actual date of when that'll be out in theaters or released on Disney+. But Jonathan Majors will be playing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So I think we kind of knew that Kang the Conqueror would be would be in a movie. I don't think we were sure on what movie, but they just confirmed that it would be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So he's obviously like a good, I don't want to say a good villain, but like a main villain in the comics. So it'll be cool to see how he enters the fold here. So this is all the new stuff that Marvel announced. I'm just gonna read it off, and kind of give you guys a little description, pretty much on what they said at the Disney Investor Day. So they have the WandaVision show, which is coming out next month again, and then Black Widow. They have Shang-Chi, Eternals, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, What If, Spider-Man 3, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Armor Wars, which is it's going to be a series that features War Machine. So Don Cheadle will be coming back in that role. And I think all they really said was that Tony Stark's worst fear will come true. And I think that means that villains will somehow get hands on his technology. So that'll be interesting. Secret Invasion, like I said. Ironheart, which will be someone. I think it'll be mainly like the comics, I think, but that's going to be a show as well, where it's someone that idolizes Tony Stark and kind of creates a new updated version of his armor, and they use it for good. So that'll be interesting. Thor: Love and Thunder. Captain Marvel 2, which will also feature Miss Marvel in that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy will have their own holiday special directed by James Gunn as well. The holiday special will be filmed at the same time as Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I believe it'll come out before Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so that'll be interesting. I Am Groot. Groot will be getting his own Disney Plus series, which will be kind of cool and lighthearted. Black Panther 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and Fantastic Four. There was no announcements on Fantastic Four, just that they were making the movie Fantastic Four. No castings, nothing. So that was just in the Marvel. Then that was a lot of stuff. But it all seems amazing. So also, to go along, I didn't mention this, but in She-Hulk, Mark Ruffalo will be as the Hulk. He'll be in that. And also, oh man, I feel bad now. I'm blanking. I didn't write it down. Hold on. The villain from the Incredible Hulk will be returning as well. I'm blanking on his name right now. I don't know why. Hold on. The Abomination. There we go. He will be returning. Same actor. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I didn't write it down, unfortunately. But he will be returning as well in She-Hulk. So, crazy stuff happening in Marvel, pretty much. So then we go to Disney. So Disney will be raising their monthly cost for Disney Plus to $7.99. They have now reached 87 or just under 87 million subscribers, which is crazy. Some of the stuff that they're working on is Safety, which is coming out, I believe, within the month, I think. So before the new year, I think. It's either this month or January. So keep track of that. Safety is about it's a true story about a college football player who pretty much is raising his younger brother while living on campus. So, and it takes place at Clemson. So it seems like a pretty interesting movie, actually. Then they're going to be they announced that they're working on Hocus Pocus 2, which Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite Halloween movies, so Hocus Pocus 2 is kind of cool. Sister Act 3, and they are doing a remake of Three Men and a Baby, starring Zac Efron. Those were the only things announced. Also, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Paul will be getting their own documentaries, I guess, on their life and families and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting. They're going to be doing a Cheaper by the Dozen remake, which I guess, I like the originals, so I guess they're not really the originals. The one with Steve Martin. Those are the ones I liked. They're going to be doing a live-action Pinocchio, which will be kind of cool. They will also be doing a Peter Pan and Wendy movie. They will be doing a Moana series, a Zootopia Plus series, and also making 2 movies. One is Raya, I believe that's how you say it, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Disenchanted, which is actually the sequel to Enchanted. And I believe it's Amy Adams that stars in that. She will be returning in her role as well. So that's really much. That was it for Disney itself. Now we have Star Wars, which has a whole lot of stuff in itself. So we have the Ahsoka series. So Ahsoka Tano, which was in The Mandalorian, made her first appearance in live action with Rosario Dawson playing her. She will be getting her own series, her own live action series, which will be really cool to see. And then we have Rangers of the New Republic, which will be based on the same timeline as The Mandalorian. That'll be cool. Andor, which is going to be a spy thriller series. It's going to be following Cassian Andor from Rogue One, which will be, that sounds like a pretty cool series. And then we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and they made some big news with that. Hayden Christensen is coming back to play Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series is supposed to take place, I believe, 10 years after their Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker's duel, where he became Darth Vader. So 10 years after that is when it takes place. So that's kind of cool news. They also will be making a series, or an animated series called The Bad Batch. It'll be based off of the animated Clone Wars series, which is a big fan favorite. They also have Star Wars Visions, which is a series of animated short films. Lando, which follows Lando Calrissian. I'm not sure. They didn't say like a time frame or on when that's like where that's supposed to be in the timeline. So it'd be interesting to see that. I'm assuming it's probably going to be in his younger days, so we'll see there. And then they have The Acolyte, which is a mystery thriller series, and A Droid Story, which follows a new droid hero, but he's led by R2-D2 and C-3PO as they go on their own mission. So, a lot of stuff from Star Wars. I want to see it all, of course. And then we have Pixar, which one of their main announcements was the movie called Lightyear, which is Buzz Lightyear's origin story starring Chris Evans, who will voice Buzz Lightyear. I thought that was an interesting choice. I like Chris Evans as much as anyone, but in terms of his voice, I mean, he's going to be playing a younger Buzz Lightyear because it's his origin story, obviously. But I just don't see how you get, I don't know, maybe I'm just too hung up on the voice, because I'm picturing Tim Allen, and I'm picturing someone's voice kind of like Tim Allen's, but younger, and I can't see that as Chris Evans, but I'm sure it'll be good, so who knows. Then they'll be coming out with a series called Inside Pixar, which I believe they already have some episodes on Disney Plus, their Pixar section. They're going to be adding more to that. They're coming out with a movie called Soul, which I've already seen commercials for before they had their investor day. Looks interesting. Looks like it'll be a pretty good Pixar movie. And they're also going to be coming out with a Cars series, which is going to follow Lightning McQueen and Tow Mater around. I don't really know the timeline of that either. So that'll be interesting for people that liked Cars. I liked Cars, but I might watch the series and see how it is. And then they had the National Geographic section, which really the only 2 things that really stood out to me was a show called Limitless, which stars Chris Hemsworth, and he pretty much puts his body to the test to try and de-age his body and live as long as he can. That's kind of, he does like, I don't want to say experiments, but yeah, you'll have to see that. They'll have the trailer on Culture Crave, or if you just probably look up Disney's Investor Day, National Geographic Limitless. That'll probably come up. They also come out with a series, or are coming out with a series called Welcome to Earth, which will be starring Will Smith, and he pretty much just goes around the world, and he like goes in a volcano, he goes in like weird places and does all these things. So it seems kind of interesting. Then they had Walt Disney Television, which announced two big things, in my opinion. They're going to be coming out with the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which is going to be a new movie with Emilio Estevez returning as his character, as well as bringing in new characters. Sorry. It's pretty much so the Mighty Ducks organization has pretty much become a powerhouse for youth hockey. And then this kid tries to try out. He doesn't make it. He gets cut, and his mother wants to make their own hockey team. So they make their own hockey team of people that have been cut by the school, and they bring back the coach, and he has to coach these guys and see how they do. So sounds like an interesting story. And then they're going to be remaking Turner and Hooch, which I love that movie with Tom Hanks, I believe in the 80s. But the role that Tom Hanks had will be played by Josh Peck, which you guys probably know from Drake and Josh. I thought that was an interesting casting because if you think of Turner and Hooch, you think of Tom Hanks. The Tom Hanks nowadays, I don't know. Maybe I just get hung up on like actors that played certain roles, like when the movie originally came out. Like Tim Allen playing Buzz Lightyear, I can't picture Chris Evans' voice matching his that much. Maybe I'm too hung up on it. Other people are excited about the Buzz Lightyear movie. Like I said, I'll go. It'll probably be good. I'll go watch it and give you guys an opinion on how it is. And again, I'm sure it'll be really good. Turner and Hooch will probably be really good too, but I just don't see the casting for Josh Peck as being like a Tom Hanks of now. But like I said, I'm probably hung up on actors that played those roles before. So that's pretty much it for the Disney Investor Day. Like I said, a lot of stuff, and that took 20 minutes to go over. So, yeah, a lot of new stuff. I think it comes to a point, though, that people are just going to have too much stuff to watch. So, like, I think it's just going to be hectic. Like, I want to watch literally, like, almost everything that I said today. And actually, probably everything I listed today. And granted, this stuff is going to be, like, released in a certain amount of time. Like, I don't know, next 2 or 3 years. But I just think it gets to a point, man, where you release so much stuff, like, people aren't going to have enough time to watch it before something else comes out. And they're like, oh, man, now I got to watch that and that. But, that's never a bad, I guess that's never a bad thing. It's just, I don't know, I think it's just kind of like overload. But, we are in a pandemic still. We could be hit with another lockdown where people are stuck in their houses for a while. So, maybe people will have enough time to watch it. I'm laid off right now at home, so I got plenty of time to watch all this stuff, but unfortunately it's not out right now. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So now we go into the NFL matchups. So this past week we had the Saints and Falcons play each other. Saints won 21-16, and I'm pretty much going to list off the scores, so I'm doing it a little differently than I normally do. I'm just listing off the scores and any storylines that come up that I think I should talk about will come up. So Saints 21, Falcons 16. Patriots beat the Chargers 45-0. That's a disappointing game for the Chargers. Really good game for the Patriots. The Patriots had a punt return for a touchdown. They had an interception return for a touchdown. And they had a shutout against Justin Herbert and the Chargers, which that's a pretty hard offense to shut out. But rookie quarterback against Bill Belichick, and trust me, we'll get into the Patriots later because they just played last night for Week 14, and it wasn't good. So they had a really good game though here against the Chargers. Lions 34, Bears 30, Browns 41, Titans 35. A really good game by Baker Mayfield. Hopefully he can continue it this week. I believe they're playing the Ravens this week, so we will see how well he does there. Bengals 7, Dolphins 19. Really kind of a boring game here. Jaguars 24, Vikings 27. Vikings are kind of making a playoff push here. Raiders 31, Jets 28. Now this game, the Raiders should have had this game in hands way before the fourth quarter. They kept the Jets in it. This is literally what was going on. But all in all, Jets really want that first pick. So what they did was the last play of the game, Jets were actually winning. Last play of the game, the Jets, they did an all-out blitz on Derek Carr, which it had worked a couple plays before. I'll give them credit on that. But, and I mean worked as in like incomplete pass or, stuff like that. But this one, they sent an all-out blitz to Derek Carr on fourth down. And Derek Carr threw a bomb to Ruggs, who was their rookie wide receiver, who's actually a really good talent, I think, but he hasn't really shown it that much this year. But he had one-on-one coverage, straight route, but he did a little fake, which gave him enough separation, and Derek Carr saw it, and no one was able to get to Derek Carr before he could throw it, so he heaved that thing downfield, and he caught it and scored a touchdown, and that is how the Jets lost. The Jets have since fired the defensive coordinator who called that play. Kind of don't blame them. But like I said, that play had worked a couple of times before, and sometimes, I can see his thinking, and he's also known to be a very aggressive play caller. I can see his thinking and trying to get pressure on Derek Carr, but when you do that, you also create one-on-one coverage on the outside, and if you know they're trying to get a touchdown to win, not probably the smartest decision, but it is what it is. Colts 26, Texans 20, Rams 38, Cardinals 28, Giants 17, Seahawks 12. The Giants upset the Seahawks with Colt McCoy as their quarterback and not Daniel Jones because of injury. So that was an interesting storyline. The Seahawks need to turn it around if they want to stay in, well, I guess they're not in first anymore, but if they want to stay in contention for the playoffs, because it is a close race in the NFC. Eagles 16, Packers 30. Eagles actually turned to Jalen Hurts late in that game, and they actually started him, or are going to start him in Week 14. So, unfortunately, though, Jalen Hurts has to play the Saints, which is not a good matchup if you're a rookie quarterback making your first start. Broncos 16, Chiefs 22. Chiefs remain with one loss on the season. Washington 23, Steelers 17. Steelers get their first loss of the season to Washington, who's red hot right now, making that playoff push for their division lead. Bills 34, 49ers 24. Bills continue to be a hot team in the AFC East, leading their division. Cowboys 17, Ravens 34. Ravens just ran all over the Cowboys. Cowboys defense really struggled in this game. Their offense, even though they only put up 17 points, actually looked pretty good. Ezekiel Elliott looked almost back to normal for whatever reason. The Ravens actually lost Dez Bryant, too, during warm-ups because his first COVID test came back as inconclusive. They tested him again during warm-ups, did a rapid test, and it came back positive. So they removed him from the field and they played the game. No one else has been positive since. And that includes Dez Bryant himself. He has done 2 negative COVID tests back-to-back, according to his Twitter account. So whether or not that's actually true, but he did say when he tested positive he's going to call it a season. He's not going to play anymore, unless something changes. I don't know, right? Because now he's done 2 negative tests. Maybe he might want to come back and be like, all right, cool, I'll just play again. But that was it for Week 13. Week 14 we just had last night. It just started. The Rams versus the Patriots. Patriots scored 3 points. Rams scored 24. So you can tell who won that one. That was it was not a good game at all. Jarrett Stidham actually came in and relieved Cam Newton in the fourth quarter. And honestly, didn't really do much either. The offensive line for the Patriots was struggling all game. They let up 6 sacks to both quarterbacks, 4 on Cam Newton, 2 on Jarrett Stidham. Play calling for the Patriots was very weird. I don't really know what they were trying to do, but they had first and goal. They ran it for a yard. Second and goal got like 4 yards, I believe, James White. Third and goal, they tried to run it with Cam Newton. He got like another yard, and then it was fourth and goal, and I was like, all right, they got to pass. They're not getting anything done on the ground against Aaron Donald and that defense. But then they ran it again. It looked like it was supposed to be an option play where Cam Newton kind of rolled out to his left. The running back, I forget the running back that was in at the time. I want to say it was Damian Harris, was kind of trailing him to his left in case he wanted to, toss it to him. But both people were covered, and Cam Newton didn't really know what to do, and he just got sacked. So they were literally in the goal line like 4 times that game, and they only got 3 points out of it. How are you in the goal line 4 times and you only get 3 points? That to me makes no sense. The play calling was very weird. I didn't understand it. I know they don't trust Cam Newton throwing the ball, but there comes a time where you have to throw the ball. And one of those plays, that fourth and goal, I believe, should have been a pass play, and they probably could have scored a touchdown and at least made it somewhat of a game. But regardless, the Patriots lost, so they are now under 500 and not looking like they're going to make the playoffs now, unfortunately. They would have to have... they're not mathematically eliminated, so, that's always a good thing, I guess. Silver lining? I don't know. But here are the standings for the NFL throughout each division. So we go with the NFC West first. Rams are 8-4. Seahawks are Rams are 9-4 now because they just won. And then we have the Seahawks who are right behind them at 8-4. Cardinals are 6-6, and 49ers are 5-7. NFC South, Saints are 10-2. Buccaneers are 7-5. Falcons are 4-8. Panthers are 4-8. NFC East, which is probably the worst division in the league. The Giants are 5-7. The Washington football team is 5-7, so both are tied, but Giants are the tiebreaker. Eagles are 3-8-1, and the Cowboys are 3-9. NFC North: Packers are 9-3, Vikings 6-6, Bears 5-7, Lions 5-7. AFC East: Bills are 9-3, Miami Dolphins are 8-4, Patriots are 6-7, Jets are 0-12. AFC West: Chiefs are 11-1, Raiders are 7-5, Broncos are 4-8, and Chargers are 3-9. AFC North: Steelers are 10-1, Browns are 9-3, Ravens 7-5, Bengals are 2-9-1. AFC South: Titans are 8-4, Colts are 8-4, Texans are 4-8, Jaguars are 1-11. And then, so pretty much, so they changed the format this year for playoffs. So you got the 4 division leaders, which all make the playoffs, and then you have 3 wildcard teams now. So pretty much all the teams I'm going to list off right here are in the wild card. 3 of them are going to make the playoffs based off of the wild card format now. So as of right now, the division leaders are the Titans, Steelers, Chiefs, and Bills for the AFC. So we'll just go with the AFC for now. So Bills, Chiefs, Steelers, Titans. And the Titans and Colts are tied, actually, in their division. So that could come down to one of these games soon. But as of right now, all 4 of those teams would make it. And then in the wild card, you'd have the Dolphins, Colts, Raiders, Ravens, Patriots, all in that order. Those are 5 teams. There is more that's competing for that spot. And the Ravens could even take their division as well. But as of right now, if the playoffs started, it would be Dolphins, Colts, Raiders, Titans, Steelers, Chiefs, and Bills all making the playoffs. The Raiders and Ravens are both 1 game behind the Dolphins and Colts to take the top spots in the wild card. And the Patriots are now 2 games out. No, 2.5 games out, from the wild card. So honestly, it's anybody's game. If those 4 teams ahead of the Patriots all lose out on the season and the Patriots win out, they could make the wild card, which would be crazy. But anything can happen. So NFC now, we have the Seahawks in the first wild card spot, the Buccaneers in the second, the Vikings in the third. And then the Cardinals are tied with the Vikings technically for that last spot, but the Vikings have the tiebreaker. And then you have the Bears, Lions, 49ers, and the Washington football team all behind them by a game. So it's really close in both divisions. If the playoffs started right now, it'd be Vikings, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Packers, Giants, Saints, and Rams, with the Saints getting the bye in the NFC, and I believe the Chiefs getting the bye in the AFC. Chiefs and Steelers are tied, but I don't know who owns the tiebreaker there. I think it's the Chiefs, but I could be wrong. So right there, I mean, the wild card races are going to be crazy in both divisions. 3 teams making it. I'm going to try and make some predictions right now. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, the Colts, and the Ravens for the AFC are all going to make it in the wild card. Divisions aren't going to change. Division leaders, I don't think will change. So I think the Titans, the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Bills will all get in, and then the Dolphins, Colts, and Ravens. The Ravens will surpass the Raiders, I believe, and they'll all make the playoffs. And then in the NFC, I'm going to go with definitely the Seahawks, definitely the Buccaneers, Vikings, Cardinals, Bears, Lions, 49ers, Washington. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. So I'm going to go with Cardinals, Buccaneers, Seahawks, and then Packers, Giants, which actually the Washington football team is tied with them. So really the Washington football team could take their division, but I think the Giants will take their division, especially with getting Daniel Jones back this week, possibly. Saints and Seahawks are right behind the Rams too. I'm still going to go with the Rams though as winning that division. They're looking really good right now, especially like last night. So that's pretty much it for the NFL stuff. And then we're actually in our last section here. Wow, it actually went by quicker than I thought. I thought it was going to be a longer episode than this, but hey, that's fine. We got through our stuff that we needed to get through, and that's all. All right, so NBA. So first bit of news out of there, Pau Gasol is possibly making a comeback. He wants to try out for the Lakers once he gets in shape, and he wants to play with his brother. So, I mean, that would be cool to play with his brother, but I think he's pretty old now. He may be healthy because he hasn't played in a couple years, but I think he just wants to really play with his brother. So if it's a 1-year deal, I mean, I think he'll take it. But he has no offers right now, so I think he's just trying to get some workouts in, and then try and maybe work out for an actual team. But he would like it to be the Lakers. Adrian Wojnarowski reports that Paul George signed his max deal the other day with the Clippers that guarantees him $226 million over the next 5 years. Crazy contract for Paul George. I unfortunately don't think he'll be worth that, but I'm not the Clippers organization. I don't know. I'm also not an NBA scout or NBA GM, so don't trust me on my opinion, but that's what I feel. NBA is crafting a COVID-19 vaccine policy. I think what I've heard lately is that the NBA is going to be not really... try and word this carefully here. I don't think they're going to be requiring their players get the vaccine, but I think they will... I think if you don't get the vaccine, you probably won't play for this year. But I think most of the players will probably get the vaccine anyways, unless they're anti-vaccine. Which if they are, they are. I mean, whatever. But you just won't play for a year. But that's not the actual policy yet. Nothing's been confirmed. And then, so James Harden, he is currently on the Rockets. He just showed up to their preseason workouts the other day, which he showed up I think a day late. He has informed the team that he wants to be traded, and originally he just listed the Nets, but now it's the Nets, the Bucks, the 76ers, or the Heat. So kind of weird that it's all Eastern Conference teams, but I think he really wants to get into the NBA Finals. Any of those teams would definitely get him into the finals. I don't know if he'd get a win, but he'd at least get there. If he went to the Nets, the Rockets would want either KD or Kyrie if they were to trade Harden to the Nets, and I don't think they'd get either one of them back, or I don't think they'd get either one of them for James Harden. They should. I mean, that's what they should do is try and get one of those guys, but I don't think the Nets will give them up. I think the Nets will want to keep both of them and bring in Harden at any cost. So I don't think the Nets is going to be a likely scenario. I've heard a lot about the 76ers with him, so I feel like that's probably going to be the most likely landing spot for James Harden. Either them or the Heat, in my opinion, because I don't think the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks just retooled and got some good pieces around Giannis, so I don't see them getting. I mean, James Harden would be another really good piece, obviously, but I just don't see them after doing all the stuff that they've done just to waste it and just trade for James Harden. I don't see that. So I think the 76ers or the Heat are the most likely spots that he goes. And the first preseason games are going to be today actually, starting with the Rockets at Bulls tonight at 8. Then we have the Magic and Hawks, the Knicks at the Pistons, the Clippers at the Lakers, and the Kings at the Trailblazers. So these are just preseason games. Obviously, the regular season doesn't start until the 22nd, where we actually have the Clippers versus Lakers and the Nets versus Warriors. So KD's first game as a Net is against his former team, and then we have the Clippers versus Lakers, which is obviously a really good showdown out west. But that's not until it's December 22nd, and I'll go over that when it gets closer to that. So, yeah, that's all the news I have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, some crazy Marvel news, Star Wars news, Disney news, everything news. I'm going to try and keep you guys updated as much as I can. As I said, in the description, I will be putting Culture Crave's Twitter handle in there. So all you guys can go there and see those trailers, because those trailers are definitely worth seeing. They look like they're going to be really good. And stay tuned for next week. I'll be going over probably NFL matchups again. Maybe some more NBA news if Harden gets traded or anyone else gets signed. Then maybe some more film news. Who knows? We'll see. Again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like down below, and I will see you guys next week.